So thank you very much for your attention and for getting back on time and for your joining us on the marketplace tables. It was very noticeable how much buzz there was and all the conversations going on. That's what I like to see. It's really good to see that communication happening about what we're doing and how we can support you. Darren has asked me to ask you to fill these in on the tables, please. The A to Z of knowledge, impact and dissemination. And we want to use that in our work, so please do fill those out and don't take them home, leave them on the table, please. It's my great pleasure and honour to welcome Professor Dame Caroline Watkins, who's going to present their work on research capacity opportunities for the regional workforce in the new NIHR Insight programme, which those that were actually paying attention this morning will remember I mentioned very briefly, but Caroline's now going to give you all the gen on it. Thank you, Caroline.
Yeah, thanks very much, Mark. Is that on? Yeah, okay. So, yes, so last summer, suddenly the NIHR advertised for bids for this NIHR Insight programme. And it's about inspiring students and newly qualified staff into research. And we had to get the bid together over the summer. So I think it went in on something like the 7th of September or something. So you can imagine all over the summer holidays, everybody was variously there, but we managed to pull it together and were successful. So we've got just under £3 million over the next 4.5 years to deliver this programme. So I'm going to tell you a bit about the background, what the Northwest programme looks like, how people can apply to have fellowships themselves or to have staff, their staff, to be able to access the programme, and lots of other practical bits of information. Okay, so it's an NIHR thing, and so that's about improving the health and wealth of the nation. NIHR's mission is lots of things, but it also has a key tenet of about attracting, training and supporting the development of researchers that do things that are clinically and socially care relevant. It's run by, the whole programme is overseen by the NIHR Academy, who obviously have a key thing about doing, developing the next generation of researchers, amongst other things. So the whole idea is that this programme will focus on developing individual capacity for participation in research, but that in itself will mean that organisations, systems, and importantly the culture will have people that will both be able to participate in research and value research. So one of the things that we need to be sure is that we've got experienced clinicians and social care professionals, that they take on board patients' values and circumstances, and that's been something that we've talked a lot about today in terms of palliative and end-of-life care, how important it is to understand what those circumstances are. We need to know the practicalities of doing things, but fundamentally, and that in a way is what ARC is all about, is to understand the state of the art in terms of the research evidence, so that people can give the right care at the right time, underpinned by good evidence. So obviously we want the things that we do to be priorities for research, and that's why it's so absolutely fundamental that the people at the sharp end in member organisations are able to influence that agenda. And we want to make sure that those things are relevant, because otherwise people won't engage with them. And people have to believe that research can actually help improve things, because sometimes people don't see it as part of their job. Not just doing research, but using research, recruiting patients to participate in research, and actually it's everyone's business. So one of the things that's been recognised is that it's difficult for some people to access research training. And so this whole programme was about on widening participation. So this is trying to get people in the research way of thinking from the get-go. So as they're coming out, whether they're healthcare professionals, social work or public health graduates, not doctors and dentists in this, because there are other programmes that are available to them. They want to get people engaged at the beginning of their career, so as they're qualifying or within a few years of them qualifying. So we've got to put on some innovative programmes to try and engage people, get people on board with the idea of it, and then as part of the offer, because I think all the time we're going to be explaining about the Research Masters studentships, but we also need to tell people about the other opportunities that there are available, because we have to have the right thing for each person at each point in their career. So sometimes it might not be right for them to do this, but perhaps they do a research internship. Perhaps they're a bit later along the career pathway and they should be supported in applying for a doctoral fellowship. So we're going to be trying to advise people as to what's best potentially for them or what their options are. This bid was led by UCLan on behalf of the research intensive universities across the North West Coast, Manchester, Liverpool and Lancaster. And despite it being over the summer, we were able to approach lots and lots of potential partner organisations, mainly through ARC North West Coast membership and Greater Manchester ARC's memberships as well. And we had lots and lots of interest, which is absolutely fantastic. But although this is the list of people that actually went on the bid, we don't want people to think that it's only available to these organisations. Any of these organisations can apply to have some of their staff on these on this Insight programme, and anybody who works anywhere can apply. It doesn't matter whether they're involved with these organisations or not. So over the 3 years we will be recruiting people. We can have up to 90 students. So 30 a year, slightly more at UCLan than the other universities, but overall 30. The students can do the programme either full-time over a year or part-time over 2 years, and during that time they will have a full stipend. So for full-time students, they'll get almost £20,000 a year tax-free. They'll get all their tuition fees paid at home rates. So if international students or people that count as international students want to do it, they would have to find the difference between home and international fees. There's 6 different master's programmes. I'll show you those in a minute. And what we said was that although all master's programmes include a dissertation, for this particular Insight programme, these Insight Masters, that we would make sure that a leading researcher was on the supervisory team of each student when they do their research dissertation. And obviously we want to get those students together so that we would have some sort of buddy system, network meetings, a conference each year, and we may well involve interns from the ARC or PhD students from the ARC, so that we're getting people to meet up with different people who were on different pathways, and people can see the range of opportunities open to them. The NIHR Academy have a national conference, so these Insight students will be able to access that, and obviously, and I'm hoping that they will be welcome at ArcFests and the like. So Manchester have 3 master's programmes available. UCLan has redesigned their master's programme to make sure it's relevant to both health and social care, and Lancaster and Liverpool have their particular programmes. So we're going to, for this year at least, be doing a joint recruitment process. We've got a call out now. The closing date is the 17th of June, which isn't very far away. We're going to look at the applications, we're going to do interviews collaboratively, and then we're going to offer people places very quickly in order to make sure that we get people in by September, October when the courses start. So when NIHR put this out, they said it was for newly qualified early career staff. They have since confirmed, because there was a lot of ambiguity about how early is early, but people who have been working in practice for no more than 3 years, and obviously people have particular circumstances. So if you have maternity leave in the 3 years that since you've qualified, then obviously that period would be extended. So don't just automatically assume that people aren't eligible. Come to us and check. NIHR have also put a list of particular graduate registers that people are going on their professional registration, and currently only those people that are going on those particular professional registers can apply for the master's programme. But already we've had lots of very valid complaints, I think, about the limits of that. So we're going to try and push NIHR to widen access to other professions as well. So for instance, psychologists may not be within the list of registrants. So we want to make sure that people have got the time to do the programme if they're on it. So if people are doing this by reducing their hours within their organisation, or they are jointly participating in it with the permission of their organisation, we're going to have sign off to say that that is the case. They have some referees, as you do for most things, and they're going to have to write a supporting statement to say why they want to do a research-focused master's degree. Colette Miller, who has been appointed as our programme manager, has made this illustration to try and explain to people how much money it actually means in practice, so what you'd have to survive on. We've done this at the moment for like healthcare focused things, but we need to look at more the social care and public health things as well to give an illustration of those things. So that's what Colette has done, rather than this coming out from NIHR. So we've just tried to give an idea of those things. And I suppose this is that we're going to be a bit corny with the flower, so that we're, planting seeds from which we can nurture and grow our, academic, clinical and social care professionals. And we've got some more information about the programme over there. Eleanor Smith is here today with us, who's going to be providing administrative support for the programme and help with the publication and managing of it. And she's smiling there sweetly as ever. She's got some nice crackerjack pencils. Oh no, they're Insight pens. So most of you will be far too young to remember Cracker Jack. Yeah. So do go and get some information. There's a QR code on there, so you can go straight to the website. The wonderful Darren has already sorted out the website for Insight within the North West Coast ARC and the links to the GM ARC website as well. So there's lots of information on there. The main thing is if you have anybody that wants to know more information about it, just get them to contact us and we can talk through what it is they need and give them any other information. And even comments on the limitations of it, we would like to have as well, because we want to be able to give feedback to NIHR, because, like I say, it's not available to everyone who's a nurse or allied health profession or social worker or public health professional. And so we would prefer it to be a wider opportunity. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Caroline. For those who are too young to remember, whenever the word crackerjack was mentioned in the programme, you had to respond immediately. So thank you very much, Caroline. We are allowed to ask questions. I was just going to say that this is a real opportunity, this investment, because it's actually quite generous. So, we have PhD studentships in the ARC, but they're a student stipend. They're not a professional salary. So this really is a great departure to enable people to get that step on the ladder. And yes, Caroline, you don't know where you think you're going. You're not finished yet.
I know. I'm just coming back. I'm coming back before I get told off.
Thank you so much, Caroline, for presenting the academy. There's still a little bit of inequality there and discrimination. Some of us that are public advisors might want to, go do our masters. I've done mine, not me, And because of that cutoff, but we are interested in research. If we are not, we won't be public advisor, will we? We are interested. We're putting all our effort in. We have got live experience, and maybe somebody might want to do their masters. And because it's not working with a partner, it's got problem already. And because maybe it's been qualified 3 years ago as a midwife or nurse or something else, so it hasn't got a chance. Can you tell us where will be a chance for advisors to do something? Thank you.
Yes, obviously the master's courses are open to anyone anyway. It's just this particular funding stream to get the stipend and the fees paid is a particular one that NIHR has put out, but people can apply for master's studentships anyway. There are also other opportunities that are open to public advisors, like the internships, and we have a wide variety of internship opportunities, both generic internships, mental health focused internships, social care internships, and hopefully soon we'll have knowledge mobilisation internships too. And they can be doing a programme, a research project. They can be to support putting an application together for some research project or some fellowship funding. They can be about participating in races. We also have innovation internships as well. So there's a huge range of internship opportunities that all ARC members, including public advisors, can access.
And I think, to be fair, this isn't an ARC thing. This is something that ARC has been supporting. Yeah. It's NIHR funding, and I assume, I may be wrong, that this is ring-fence funding from NHS England for career and workforce development for allied health professionals, nurses and pharmacists, not doctors, not dentists, and not people who aren't HCPC registered. I don't know whether clinical psychologists would be eligible, but they probably wouldn't apply because they are already doctoral. So there are other areas of the profession that would be wouldn't be using this, professionals working in the health and social care that wouldn't be using this funding either. I think the important thing is to note how it would be accessed by social care who aren't HCPC registered. I don't know whether we have an answer on that. Do we know?
Social work can access it, but I don't think it's widely open to social care professionals, and that's one of the things that we will take back to NIHR. The other thing with social workers, when they come out of university, they don't qualify. It's a bit like junior doctors. They have to do junior doctors do F1, F2, and social workers have to do 2 years. So by the time they've finished their degree, done 2 years, they've got 1 year to get into the Insight programme, which again feels a bit tight, but that's what people have said. And also for people that come from overseas, it's from when they qualified. So if they qualified a few years ago, but then came over to the UK to work, the clock started when they finished their original healthcare professional qualification.
I think because of the pre-election period of sensitivity, we probably can't talk about the impact of visas on whether they'd actually be able to stay after they'd finished their masters. So we should probably move on.
Or whether they can bring their family when they
No, let's move on to the next presentation. Thank you very much, Dame Caroline.
Thank you.
Giving your Sunday best name there.